You are listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Breaking the Ice, and this is also the worst episode of my life. Aww. Connor Cupen here, joined by AJ Chasan, making his return to the booth on mic 3. How's it going? It's been a long time.
I feel like a better question is, how's it going for you? How are you doing today?
You see, not in a hockey perspective, it could totally be better, but I will say it's better than missing the playoffs. It is, dude. It is better than missing the playoffs. Personally, I'm not saying I can speak for other people, but for myself, no doubt, better than missing the playoffs. It's a great season from that Florida Panthers team that is the best in their franchise's history. I can't say something bad about that. Can't. First time they ever won a Stanley Cup final game. I have to give it its flowers.
I mean that I'm just gonna be the bad guy here. This was no matchup. Like, watching this series, Vegas, they're the team that's gonna suffocate you in your D zone.
At least they won a game. They won a game, and
they're gonna
suffocate.
minimum. They're gonna play puck possession. They're gonna suffocate you in your D zone. They're gonna create and it was going to take a team to defeat Florida that could defend the offense off the rush, because that's where Florida could strike. And if you could take that away and make them create in their own zone, for Florida, they really struggled to do that.
Yeah, that power play was rough.
They struggled to do that throughout the regular season. They struggled to do that in the postseason. But when you got guys like Matthew Tkachuk, Carter Verhaeghe, guys who can create like that in the blink of an eye, guys like Barkov who can put the puck in the back of the net like it's nothing off the rush, like. If you could slow that down and make Florida play disciplined hockey, like you're gonna have a good chance. Like, Vegas is doing a good job funneling Florida's offense to the boards, funneling it outside, making Aiden Hill's job very, very easy. You didn't have that many grade A's in the middle of the ice. You saw pucks the entire way on net. Florida's net presence in this series was it was terrible. They got
okay.
They had no support in the front.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened, because the Carolina series.
Yeah, they had no one in front of the net ever. They Aiden Hill saw pucks the entire way into the crease. Like,
let me explain one thing. You talking about defensively or offensively here?
Offensively, they had no net presence whatsoever. They made Aiden Hill's job so easy, and also they couldn't. And
also, he's cracked. Let's be real. He was definitely a Conn Smythe candidate.
Really? They had 123 block shots Vegas did the entire series.
That lets you know how good Vegas's net presence is as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, but
incredible.
But that makes Aiden Hill's job so much easier.
Oh no, yeah.
To where with the shots that are these actually screens out, there are gained to the nets, and shots that are gained to the net, he's seen the entire way. Like, they were cutting off their angles they weren't getting too many grade A's on them. I mean, the game that they're getting most of their grade A's were in Game 3, and what happened in Game 3? They won.
They won because okay, and also they won.
And how'd they score? How'd they score that goal with the net empty? What did they have? They had net presence. Who was that? Who was down there? Matthew Tkachuk. Yeah.
No, with the extra skater also, of course. It's easier to do such things. And
I mean, of course, but
Verhaeghe took a shot, rebound, and he was right in front of the net.
But that's how you beat a team like Vegas. You got to match their physicality. You got to make Aiden Hill's job difficult. You got to make him you got to keep him leaning.
And when Matthew Tkachuk breaks his sternum, that you're one of your more physical players, and your best player. It's not when. Did you know? Daniel, shout out Daniel Lamoya for this. He told me today, he texted in our group chat, that Aaron Ekblad was playing with a broken foot, 2 dislocated shoulders, and an oblique tear.
I mean,
the Stanley Cup final.
I mean, call it what you want. Like, me, most people are gonna look at this as a good thing. Like, he's a warrior. Like, he was out there playing for his team. I know
you're going to say
I'm in the minority of this.
Have somebody else who can actually play to their full potential be out there.
Here's my thing. Like, if I'm and it's hard for me to say this because it is the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah,
if it was any other series, I would be ripping Eric Ekblad for this. Like, if you're going to be out there playing, the injury excuse to me is nothing. Like you can't be out there playing and then expect me to judge you as if you're not 100%, right? To me, I can't do that. But in the Stanley Cup final, I am going to call you a warrior, Eric Ekblad, like that. Like, I would be out there too.
That's a lot, man. I don't know if I could do that.
I would be out there too. But I also give Matthew Tkachuk a ton of credit for sitting out Game 5. Like, he knew he couldn't go. Like, on a broken sternum, like, let's be real. Like,
But he played on it in the rest of Game 3, right?
yeah, which is crazy.
And he tied the game.
which is crazy. But after a while, he knew. Like, he knew he couldn't go. Like, I would say Paul Maurice, he was talking post-game, but I forgot who on the TNT broadcast. And the hope was, like, that he could be ready for Game 7 if it got there. But,
yeah, it happens, man.
Florida just broke down.
But it's still the greatest thing I've ever watched in my lifetime. The only thing that could have made it better was if Tampa had beaten Toronto and they could have taken on Tampa in the second round. But it's all right. I'm down for taking down Carolina like the way they did too, taking down Toronto the way they did, and beating that Bruins team. It's all fun. It's all fun. Unfortunate ending, and of course Vegas has to win the ring because now their fans are going to be even more insufferable than they already were. Because now it took them 6 years to win a ring, and then there's some franchises that, like, think about if you're a Rangers fan, you haven't seen the Cup since '93.
Yep.
And here comes this team that didn't exist in 2017.
And their owner called it. They called it with that. They said he'd win the Cup in 6 years. Well, and in their sixth season, it got it done.
In their sixth season, Jack Eichel is a Stanley Cup champion. I'm gonna get a crowd clap. That's a guy right there that it was worth it. Straight
Absolutely.
Up.
I mean, Buffalo, they're going to be a great team for the next 5, with that 6, 7, 8 years. But Eichel's decision to leave to go to Vegas is absolutely justified on this afternoon. It was justified even when Vegas went to even when they got their bid to the Cup and beat Dallas. Like, the fact that, like, he bet on himself to where, if Buffalo wasn't going to give me the contract and the respect that I deserve, I'm going to go somewhere that will in Vegas. I'm going to build it there. I'm going to be the 1C on a championship team, something that people were doubting if I could be. And now I am. Like, for Jack Eichel, that this is going to be something to where that if he plays like Jack Eichel the next 5, 6, 7 years, he can make a real case based off this win right now. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer because of this.
No doubt about it.
This is big for a player like Jack Eichel. It's big for a player like Alex Pietrangelo. Now he's the number one defenseman on 2 Stanley Cup teams in 2 different organizations.
Yeah.
Yep. It's big for players like William Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, original Vegas.
The original Knights, man.
The original Vegas Golden Knights. It's big for them. It's big for guys like Mark Stone. Now he's the C on a championship team. Like, when you win the Stanley Cup, you are now looked at completely differently than what you were.
Alec Martinez, 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
Yep. Guys like Aiden Hill, he's made a ton of money this playoff round.
Yeah.
With this round of playoffs because of it. He's gonna go into free agency, and before these playoffs, maybe he would have got $2 million, $3 million AAV. Now he's looking at 4 or 5, maybe even 6, depending on if a team gets desperate. Like,
fair.
With coaches like Bruce Cassidy, he was fired from the Boston Bruins, couldn't get it done. But Vegas takes a chance on him. Now he's a Stanley Cup champion in his first year in Vegas. Completely changes how we look at a coach like that. Like, there are so many storylines at this Vegas team to where their fans are insufferable. We get it.
Yeah.
We don't like them.
But now they can talk about it because their team proved
But for the players, the coaches, and even the owner, like, it's all justified.
Yeah, they're good guys.
It's all
justified.
Great
Guys.
They always felt this organization always felt like the island of misfit toys, especially with how the expansion draft went. You had to protect X amount of players. Every player that was drafted to Vegas was pretty much told you're not good enough to play in our organization.
Yeah.
But that every free agent that Vegas took a chance on, like, they were still looked at like, Vegas, really? Like, what was Vegas done? Right? They get to the Stanley Cup with a bunch of second, third liners that they took on, with a bunch of second, third pairing D-men that they took with the misfit toys. They get rolled by Washington. They get aggressive. They take chances on stars. And you know what? Like, now they're a champion. I don't know if this is going to turn into a dynasty. I have my doubts. I really do. They have a bunch of key free agents they have to bring up with that in. Right now, they sit 15 over the cap.
It could not, but it's not like it's a 0% chance. You know
it's not like it's a 0% chance.
It's probably like It could be a 50-50 shot, honestly.
Could be.
With the team like this, the way they've started their franchise, they have made it to the Stanley Cup Final twice. They've made it to the Western Conference Finals 4 out of their 6 years of existence.
They have great
have
management.
the pedigree.
They have great management, but they're really going to have to turn over this roster in free agency and in the draft. They're really going to have to retool this thing because they're going to lose a ton of good players. And that's what happens when you win championships. Your players get overpaid. Your players would then find different homes. They use that to
and
capitalize.
At least they cashed in when they could.
Exactly. They become a champion. It's not maybe championships aren't about the number one thing anymore for players. Like they're gonna have to really, really, really retool this thing. Can they? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But would I bet on it? I don't know. Especially in the West, that's a very, very deep conference. But it's not time to talk about that. It's time to celebrate Vegas. It's time to celebrate them with having a great season.
Clap,
and Vegas, congratulations. You've won your first
Congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights winning the 2023 Stanley Cup Finals. Here on the 30th episode of Breaking the Ice. It's 30 straight weeks.
30 straight.
30 straight weeks.
And we keep them moving.
I wonder, should I go for the full year straight? Like, should I just try it?
I mean,
no, we didn't. Nope, we skipped Thanksgiving.
We did skip Thanksgiving.
I think we skipped. Hold on. I got to use my brain real quick. There was a week that was missed.
Yeah, we got it
early on in the year, and I'm about to find out right now when it was because I know it happened I think we missed that because Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was probably. Yeah, it was definitely.
I'm saying we can't be lying to the fan base. Like 30. We can't be saying it's 30 straight if it's not. We got to confirm this.
I'm looking right now. Yeah, hold on. November 18th was the first episode.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty sure the second episode was the week after. So 29 straight.
29 straight.
I'm 90% sure we've done 29 straight. I think we've made it every single week since Thanksgiving.
I would say we'll confirm that after the show. If not, it'll be the Instagram clip. But you know what? Like we got to go 52.
We got to go to 52. I agree.
We got to go 52.
We got to go for 52.
It has to happen.
Dude, summer will make it. No, summer is gonna be the hard part because
yeah.
But during the semester, I'll have everybody here. Mm-hmm. We can just all come in here, and then who's ready for?
We can just pump them out.
Devils 2024 season. You know they're gonna come up here and be like, "All right, guys, what? Oh God, you not ready for it yet? You're not ready for Daniel?"
I just didn't expect the word Devils to be brought up today. But it's okay. We could talk about them.
We live in that state.
It's okay. We could talk about them later.
We'll do that. I mean, right before the show started, you posed a question, which we'll get to that in a second.
We will.
But we'll still touch on the Stanley Cup Final. And, even this whole... Let's one thing I wanted to touch on. Our bracket challenge. Who had the best and the worst out of all of them? So, I think we can take a guess I had the best bracket.
Yeah, because you had 1 to 2.
I literally had
finalists.
Eastern Conference champion correct.
I would say nobody had Vegas too. So
who do you think had the worst one?
Myself.
I'm gonna guess Alex Daly. I just have a feeling.
I would say I definitely had the worst. I didn't get a single team in the first round in the East right. I got every team in the West right, but I didn't have a cup for this.
So the NHL app decided to sign me out. Thanks a lot, NHL app.
Yeah, I didn't get a single with a first round prediction in the East correct. I got every single with a prediction in the first round in the West correct, but I didn't have Vegas in the Cup final.
So
I had Edmonton.
Here is the leaderboard, and I'll do a drum roll for it as well. The Breaking the Ice Challenge leaderboard. I did get first by 60-something points. So last place. All right, I'm gonna drum roll this one. It is you!
Yeah!
You're correct.
Yeah!
A grand total of 43 points.
I told you, I didn't get a single team in the East right, so I was completely dead in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
I was completely dead in the first round I was in the entire side of the bracket. I got every team in the first round in the West right, but I didn't have Vegas, so I knew it was going to be me.
So out West, you got Dallas in 6 on the dot. You got Seattle, you got Vegas, you got Edmonton, but you got Edmonton in 5, Vegas in 7, and you had Seattle in 6. So those were a little off. And then your Western Conference Final was Seattle, Edmonton instead of Vegas, Dallas.
Yeah.
So you got, yeah.
Yeah, mine was bad. Mine was bad.
Okay, so now
bad.
I want you to guess the order of, we have a lot else here. So I want you, who do you think was second place?
Here's
second place in the whole thing with 81 points. Keep in mind, I have 147.
all right.
81 points, second place.
All right. I'm trying to think of people. I'm gonna say Campbell.
Campbell was actually second to last.
Oh wow, actually. Okay.
52 points for Campbell.
All right, so
he had the Bruins winning the whole thing.
Okay, yeah,
And
yeah.
that-
I'm
that,
trying to think. Nem also had the Bruins going deep, so I'm gonna,
She's third to last.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I don't think that she went that. All right, I'm second. Let's go. You know what? Let's go Brady. Is it Brady?
He got third place with 72 points. Justin Brady had Edmonton, Vegas, and Dallas, but he had Colorado.
No way. Daly's second, right?
He is fourth.
All right, so Moya is second. Okay.
He didn't do a challenge. He
Okay.
didn't do a bracket.
Who was the other person that was in it?
Think of who else is on our show.
Who was in it? Okay.
Oh no, AJ's forgetting some. This might be the Instagram. AJ has forgotten a member of the show.
Who is? All right.
He's
So
like, who was on?
I said Daly. I said Moya, but he didn't do one. I said Brady. I said Nem. I said Campbell.
You said, yeah, you said everyone.
Who is this person? who
I'm laughing so hard right now, man.
Who is this person?
I'm laughing so
Hold
much.
on, I gotta look at the group chat.
AJ forgot someone who was on our show.
Who is? I gotta look at the people in the group chat. Hold up.
All right.
All right. Forbes didn't do one. I know that for sure. Vinny with that pink cone, he just hasn't
Yeah.
even responded in the group chat.
Yeah.
Like, Gathopoulos, no shot he did one, right?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, it wasn't Gathopoulos. Mateo, he joined after the
Yeah.
bracket. Who's this 973-461-9578 number?
You don't have that number?
I don't know who this is, so I'm not gonna say you.
973.
No way I forgot Tanner.
You forgot Tanner.
No way I forgot Tanner.
You forgot Tanner. And that's exactly why I'm like, no way. This man was ripping on him the whole year with
No
the
way
blue
I forgot
shirts,
Tanner.
and he forgot he was even here.
You gotta be. Oh my God, Tanner, I apologize.
This is absolutely going on the Instagram. This is one of the greatest moments of the show. I'm so sad that other people weren't here to witness that one. I'm like, wait till he reads who he forgot. Because I knew he was going to just look in the group chat and be like, no.
Tanner came in second?
Yeah, Tanner got the second place, 81 points. The blue shirts is the name of the bracket. He
I
had...
should've known that. I mock Tanner every week on this show.
He forgot he existed. You forgot he was here. He was like, no.
All right, who did he have in his cup final?
Rangers,
Okay.
Dallas Stars.
Okay. I could have seen Tanner because he did say Dallas was going to go deep. And
So here's his bracket and how he got all the points. So his East was really bad, actually. He had Toronto and Carolina in the first round, and then that was it because he had a Toronto Rangers Eastern Conference final.
Oh wow.
But out west, what got him all the money, Vegas in 5 on the dot, Edmonton in 6 on the dot. He got Dallas, and then he had Dallas beating Colorado. So Dallas was his breadwinner in the Western Conference that got him to there. But so Tanner, if now you got to have a rebuttal because AJ forgot about you, bro. So you need to tell him how you feel in a heartfelt message to our group chat later, or maybe on Instagram.
I can't believe I forgot.
Well.
I can't believe I forgot Tanner.
So anyway,
Yo, stop laughing.
That's a top 10 show moment. That's legitimately a top 10 show moment in the history of the show. But moving on here. So that's the bracket challenge. I won the bracket challenge. AJ got last in the bracket challenge. But that doesn't say much considering like pretty much nobody had a great bracket, if we're being 100% honest. I did have half of my bracket pretty solid.
I mean, an 8 seed in the East went to the final.
My Western Conference?
Yeah, 17th in the East made it to the final. Like,
my Western Conference, however, I believe it was
bad.
I had let's just check it out. In the West, I had a Colorado Edmonton Western Conference final.
Okay,
so
well, that's...
I didn't get none of that, but I got Vegas, Edmonton, and Dallas winning in the first round because you cannot bet on Minnesota. I brought this up last week. Is Minnesota the new Toronto?
Maybe.
Minnesota has lost in the first round 7 of the last 8 years.
Okay.
They're the new meme. But Toronto's just funnier, though.
Here's what that. I don't think that's fair, and I'm gonna say why. With that, let me say why really quick. Minnesota, they have two really, really, really big buyouts on their cap right now. They have Ryan Suter and Zach Parise, right?
Yeah.
For the next 2 years, they have $14.743 million of just dead cap.
Boy.
They for 2023, 2024, and 2024, 2025, they have $14 million that they cannot use for the next 2 seasons. So they have to build this roster at such a big disadvantage, right? And it's their own doing, right? They signed 2 bad deals. Like, that's not. I'm not excusing them of all fault right now. Like, they shouldn't have penciled those guys to those contracts, but they did. So they have to bear the brunt of it a little bit. But I feel that they're not Toronto for that reason, and also Toronto. Like, here's my thing with them, right? Toronto's they're one of the original franchises, right? Like, they're one of the franchises to where they're Canada's biggest market. Like, Toronto needs to be a franchise that wins every year. Minnesota, they're not one of the biggest. They're a very, very, very good hockey market, right? But they're not one of the biggest hockey markets in America. They're not one of the markets where free agents are flocking to go there, right? Minnesota is an organization where they kind of have to build it within themselves, right? They have to build it through the draft. They have to build it through signing.
And Kirill Kaprizov has to play better.
Yes, he does. That's a big thing, especially on the fact that he's on the books at $9 million for the next 3 seasons, right? He has to play like a $9 million player in the playoffs. Like, let's be real here.
Kachuk is on the books for $9.5 million per season.
Yeah, and Matthew Kachuk and Kirill Kaprizov, there's a big gap, and it's not a $500,000 gap. It's not a $500,000 gap between Kirill Kaprizov and Matthew Kachuk. Let's be real. So, yeah, Minnesota, I think they're going to be in some deep water for the next couple of years, but I feel after these next 2 years, give it a third. If they're still not producing, then we can call them Toronto.
Okay.
I think right now I don't know if I can jump to that level just
I
yet.
get that. I completely get that. But now that the season is over, and the Florida Panthers, Paul Maurice ended up being a solid hire. His team did well. Bill Zito's still that guy. As long as he's the GM of that squad, they can go anywhere. He is a 2-time GM of the Year candidate in the past 3 seasons. He'll make his team relevant with his moves. But speaking of GM moves, we're going to talk about it. Kyle Dubas to the Penguins. At first, you were joking about it.
Yeah, I thought there was no shot that Kyle Dubas would actually take the Penguins' job.
And next thing you know, he's the president of hockey ops and the
interim
even better. GM.
So even better.
What does this mean for you, AJ, and your team known as the Pittsburgh Penguins?
What it means is they understood what the problem was last year, and they're going in a completely different direction. Ron Hextall, Brian Burke, 2 guys to where they're boomers, they're old timers. They're not very nuanced. They're not very progressive in the way the hockey rosters are built. Hockey's played. Change needed to be made in that regard. Kyle Dubas is a young, innovative GM, right? Yes, he's made his mistakes. He's penciled one really bad contract in his career in John Tavares. But every single move that he's going to make, it's going to be with a process, right? It's going to be with a plan. There's going to be a strategy. There's going to be a reason behind it. They're not just going to trade or sign a player just because, right? So what it means is they're willing to dive deeper into analytics. They're willing to get younger. They're willing to get faster. Is this a home run hire right now? Yes. We'll see what happens over the next 2 years because they're really going to have to maximize those 2 years with Malkin and Crosby sort of reaching the tail ends of their careers, right? They're going to have to maximize that the best way they can. They're going to have to, with Kyle Dubas, he's walking into a situation to where it's not going to be easy, right? Yes, they have $20 million in cap space to work with, but they pretty much have to fill out the entire bottom six. They have to get another defenseman, or probably two. They're going to have to probably sign a goalie, probably two. And they're going to have to hit in the draft, right?
Yeah.
Because their farm system is bad. It's not great. So, is this like a roster that, as of right now, projects to be a contender next year? No, probably not. But with an off season, right? If they hit it big this off season, they could be up there, right?
Yeah.
They could be. I'm not gonna count out Crosby and Malkin until they prove that they should be counted out, right?
Never.
I'm not gonna count them out until Father Time comes. They have a lot of work to get with it. They have a lot of work they have to do to get up with the top teams in the East. Like your Bostons, like your Floridas, like your Torontos, like your New Jerseys, like your New Yorks. The gap between those teams and Pittsburgh right now, they're pretty big, right? They have a pretty big mountain they have to climb. But with Dubas, right, you know that at least, and this is like the bare minimum ask, right? You know that there's gonna be a process and there's gonna be a well thought out plan to get there. So we'll see if it works. We'll see if he can retool the roster. But you feel a lot better with Kyle Dubas running your organization than you do with Ron Hextall and Brian Burke, and that's for dang sure.
Give me a grade. How does it make you feel? What's your grade? Your instant grade?
A plus.
A
plus. It's the best. It's the best hire of the all season if you're counting coaches and executives.
I agree. He's a good man. Why did Toronto fire him? Was it a scapegoat?
Yes, and also I don't think Kyle Dubas would have moved off the core.
Fair.
I don't think Kyle Dubas would have traded Nylander. I don't think he would have traded Morgan Riley. John Tavares, which you can't. But that's another one you can't trade him because of his contract. Mitch Marner or Austin Matthews. I don't think he would have done it. You see, Toronto brought in a guy in Brad Treveling. He was Calgary's ex-GM. What did Calgary just do last offseason?
They traded away Kachuk.
They traded away Kachuk and they let who
go of what's his Johnny Gaudreau.
Yep, they tried to make changes that didn't work, right?
Not even close, man.
It didn't work. It didn't work at all, right?
Well, so far it didn't work at all.
No. Hiring Brad Treveling, that change is going to be made, right? If they're serious about moving off one of the guys in the core and trying to retool the roster, you know that Treveling's at least going to do that. He's at least going to bring new faces into the organization. Is it going to work? No. The reason he got fired was because their president, Brendan Shanahan, he wanted more of a say in the organization. He wanted more credit for moves. There's a lot of infighting between him and Kyle Dubas. So Shanahan let him go, which good for Pittsburgh. But we'll see what happens with Toronto. We'll see if they can we'll see if Treveling coming in and breaking up the core, if it's going to work. I have my serious doubts. But that hire, I'll give it like a B-.
Okay.
That one I'll give a B-.
So the Pittsburgh Penguins are making moves to get right back into the swing of things. And they're not the only team that has done so. Let's roll into today. Or not today, but yesterday. Past couple days, the New York Rangers have got a new head coach on the block. After, I believe, the Washington Capitals fired Peter Laviolette, he is now the head coach of the New York Rangers. I would love Tanner Price's input on this, but he obviously is not here. He lives too far away, so it's all right. Or even Alex Daly, but he lives in Florida. He can't just hop on a plane to get on breaking the ice.
Who's Tanner Price?
I don't know, man. But Peter Laviolette to the Rangers, he was the favorite, and Gerard Gallant getting fired. He's been around for a while. He's the 6th different head coaching job in his career. 23rd straight year as a head coach in this league. Spent the last 3 seasons with Washington, but they had playoff struggles with the last 3 years. They only won 3 playoff games. And, he was in Nashville when they went to the Stanley Cup final in 2017. And he won a Stanley Cup with the Hurricanes. guided the Flyers to the final. 752 wins this guy has. And he'll be under a lot of pressure because this Rangers team is trying to win now. How you like this move?
It's just so uninspiring. Like,
It's uninspiring.
it's so like I don't see this as a needle mover. I don't. And this isn't like, what I'd pile on Peter Laviolette Day, right? Laviolette's a good coach. This is a fact. They'll be better coached under Peter Laviolette than they were under Gerard Gallant last year. That's a fact, right?
I hear what you're saying.
But Peter Laviolette, he's been a head coach 5 times in this league with the Rangers, right? Yes, he has an impressive resume. He's taken 3 teams to the Cup final. He's never won, right? Washington in 3 years under Laviolette got worse each year, right? So I don't like when these teams keep bringing in these recycled head coaches. Like, I would have loved, especially in the Rangers situation, they have a core that's, it's getting to the back end with the primes, right? I would have loved a younger, like, innovative mind with the coming into New York, right? I would have liked to see them play with some more speed, with some more urgency, because I think that, like, the Devils, they skated right past them in that series. I would have liked the head coach that brings in a faster paced system, with a system that's going to get players up and moving, right? Laviolette, you know what it feels like? It feels like a safe hire, right? It feels like a hire, you know what? Like, Laviolette, he's not going to be bad, right? It feels like a hire to where the Rangers, they just didn't want to mess it up, right?
A safety hire.
And I get it. But you know what wins in sports?
Risks.
Aggressive. What did the Florida Panthers do last offseason?
Matthew Tkachuk trade.
Yep, they took a risk, right?
Paul Maurice hire.
Yep, they fired Andrew Burnett, hired Paul Maurice, right? Alpha President's Trophy. They traded with their 100-point winger Jonathan Huberdeau. They traded one of their best defensemen last year, Mackenzie Weegar.
And a first.
They brought in Matthew Tkachuk, and you know what? It worked, right? What did Vegas do? They took a big swing they fired their head coach, brought in Bruce Cassidy.
Cassidy too, man.
They've also over the last couple of years signed with a big free agents like Alex Pietrangelo, gave him a big deal. They signed Jack Eichel, gave him a big deal, right? Or they traded for Jack Eichel rather.
Yeah,
but they took risks, and what happened? They won a Stanley Cup, right?
Yeah, they did.
The Rangers, but I feel like they took risks last year, right? They traded for Tarasenko. They traded for Kane. It didn't work, right? It feels like they've sort of gone back on that aggressive mentality a little bit, and they went safe with Laviolette. I don't know if I like that. I think if I have a core of guys like Panarin, like Mika, like Kreider, like Adam Fox. I mean, not really Adam Fox. He's younger, but but like your Trocheks and stuff. Your guys that are 29, 30, 31, 32. Come on, I just want to keep going all in. I just want to keep piling and piling and piling. I want to surround these guys with as much talent as I possibly can, and I just want to keep this ship moving.
I was like, hold on.
Yeah, I was saying, I saw you about to get.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah, I was.
But then I realized, hold on. He said ship.
Yeah, I saw you to get to that. No,
I was about to just jump over here.
I want to get the ship moving. Like, I want to keep it going and going and going and going. And I want to try and go all in and all in and all in until the wheels fall off on these guys, right? Especially since they're all signed with term, right? When you're bringing a guy like Laviolette, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of like, this is kind of the mentality. 100-point team, wild card 1, right? We'll sneak into playoffs and see what happens, right? I don't like building my roster like that. I don't like hiring. I don't like that process. And I don't know, like, I'll give it a B. This hire, because I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's a lot better than John Hines, which is another finalist. If they would have hired him, it would have been an F. Like, that would have been horrible. But believe me, I was as soon as I saw they're about to hire John Hines, I'm like, ain't no way, ain't no way. And they came to their senses and they didn't, right? But
And then that's the Ranger way.
But it's just, if I was a Rangers fan, I wouldn't be mad. But I wouldn't be like jumping up and down at this hire.
I'm gonna text Tanner right now.
Thoughts on the Lavalette hire?
I wouldn't be jumping up and down about this hire. I wouldn't be being like, yo, this is the guy that's going to turn it around. This is the guy who's going to take us to where we need to go, right? I think you're going to be good under him. I think you're going to be better coached. But I don't see great, you know? I don't see great under with Laviolette with his core. And to me, that's kind of underwhelming. Tanner, say anything?
Maybe that's why he hasn't been able to. He's haven't talked in our group chat because nothing's going through to his messages. So I don't know what's the deal.
Well,
His number got canned or something. We're getting a message send failure. Honestly, let's think about that quick. When was the last time we saw Tanner say something in chat? It's
been a while.
Oh boy, this man's been canned and we have no idea. His number's been canned. Oh, hold on. Yesterday. Hold on. If it was yesterday, hold on. There's something fishy going on here.
Even you forgot about Tanner.
No, I didn't forget about him. I did not. I'm not. Only we got to email him, guys, to get to him. Email him.
I'm going to DM him.
Yes, you know what? Instagram is going to be the way.
Here, I'll do it.
Aha.
Thoughts on Laviolette?
Yo, Tanner, if you're listening,
hire.
Why do you have me unadded on Snapchat? How dare you?
Thoughts on Laviolette
How
hire
dare
live
you, Tanner?
on air.
Like, come on. This man, you know what?
Need your thoughts.
How dare Tanner Price not have me added on Snapchat?
And now we'll text daily.
Yeah. We'll text. Yeah, honestly, yes. Honestly,
I'll text daily.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Thoughts on
Lavalette hire. We're running
live
through
on air with Connor.
running through the roster right now.
Need thoughts.
need thoughts. So
We'll see what happens. We'll see if they get back.
so
If they do, we'll read it.
moving on down the Eastern Conference. That's the Rangers. Now we're talking about a big purchase from Canada. The Ottawa Senators have been bought for $950 million. I believe the purchaser, Michael Andlauer, $950 million. The Senators bidding, it had Ryan Reynolds in there at one point. But it's the Canadian billionaire who now owns the Ottawa Senators. He's got a hockey background. He was a majority owner of an AHL franchise, but he sold them to the Montreal Canadiens, and he bought an OHL team. So he's been around. He had a share of Montreal as well. My mistake.
As where?
As where. But now he is the owner of the Ottawa Senators. Now, what does an ownership change really do for a franchise? It changes a lot. And I feel like a team like this could use that because they've had a lot of struggles this past decade plus. And is this a good place for them to start?
It is. And one thing before we talk about what's going to do for this for the team, I think with the fact that the number came in at $950 million, it's very, very good for the league, right?
Yeah.
This is a league to where it's smaller than the NBA, smaller than the MLB, it's smaller than the NFL, right? The cap's only at $84 million, right? The fact that we're getting closer to the $1 billion range in terms of franchise values.
The cap's $84 million. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you got Aaron Rodgers making 50 by himself.
Yeah, like the fact that we're getting closer to that $1 billion number when it comes to franchise values.
$50 million away.
It's great. I think it was great for the league. What does it do? Hopefully it provides more stability to the organization. It's not like you're going in working with nothing, right? You have your number one center in Tim Stützle. You have your number one D-man in Jacob Chychrun, right?
Yes,
you have
sir.
things that you have things around the organization that are tangible.
You got
that are
Claude
nice.
Giroux for 2 more years.
Yep, you have a nice leader in Giroux. You got Brady Tkachuk there, with that wearing the C. With that you got him, with that being a point per game
He
winner.
has the C at age 23, which is honestly crazy, but yeah.
It's crazy, but I mean that's how much they believe in that player, and it's warranted. He's a great player. From the looks of it, he's a great person. Like he comes from a rich hockey family.
Oh yes,
Like
sir.
Keith,
you've done well.
Yeah, he comes from a hockey family. Not rich in terms of wealth, but rich in terms of
Skill,
hockey
yeah.
knowledge. Right? He's got hockey in his bloods. Right?
Quite literally.
the first thing they're gonna have to figure out is what in the heck they're gonna do with Alex DeBrincat, right? That's with he's got a $9 million qualifying offer that he can just sign, right? Are they going to work out a trade with him, right? Are they going to work out a sign and trade to get him an extension? Are they going to give him an extension, right? That's the first big decision they're going to have to make when it comes to this organization, right? And we'll see what happens, right? We're just gonna we don't know much about this ownership group right now, but we will within due time, right? We're gonna have to see what happens. But if I was an Ottawa Senators fan, there's obviously a reason that the owners sold the team, right?
Yeah.
They weren't doing well. When was the last time they made the playoffs? Like the last time I remember the playoffs was them in.
Time to check.
Yeah,
Time to check.
The last time I remember them in the playoffs was 2017.
Ottawa Senators playoff.
That was the last time I remember them in the playoffs.
Last time the Ottawa Senators were in the playoffs was indeed the year 2017.
Yep, it was 2017, and they lost to Pittsburgh.
I just dropped my phone
and they
all
lost,
over the board.
They lost
man.
to my Penguins in the ECF.
They did lose in the conference finals. They won 2 rounds though. As a 44-win team, winning 2 rounds is impressive.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to get back to winning, right? They're one of the smaller markets in terms of hockey. It's in Canada, which is crazy because isn't Ottawa the capital of Canada?
Really? There's a capital. Okay, let's see. Hold on.
I mean, yeah, there's a capital in the U.S.
Let's see. Capital of Canada.
Say, isn't it Ottawa?
Capital of Canada. It is Ottawa.
I was saying this is Ottawa. Yo, what my geography? Like
His geography's on point
it's
today.
on point right now, but yeah,
We could even talk about.
which is crazy.
We'll
They're
get
one of the
into-
smaller.
We'll get into some geography a little later.
I would say, which is crazy. They're one of the smaller hockey markets of Canada, but on the fact that but I think Ottawa's the capital of Canada, but hockey, but winning hockey has to come back to Ottawa, right? It has to, and we'll see if this ownership can bring it there, but we'll know in due time.
So let's jump right to geography because this is perfect.
Hold on.
Holding on.
I got thoughts from Alex Daly.
Let's hear the thoughts from Alex Daly himself.
Quotes. I don't know. Seems like we settled with him. If we wanted him, we would have hired him sooner. He's been around the Metro a ton, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Still amazed a 99, 46, and 19 record gets you fired in this league. Talking about Jolan.
Talking about Shalon. Yeah, I hear that. I get that.
We'll respond to these. Seems like you settled with him. I agree 100%. If you wanted him, you would have hired him sooner. That I also agree with him. He's been around the Metro, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I think it's indifferent. I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's
It
kind of
cancels out.
yeah. I think that's kind of a neutral thing. Like, it's a different core. It's a different.
It's a good thing where you know how the other teams work.
Yeah, it's a good. It's gonna make it a little bit easier. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of a good thing, but it's still a different team, a different core. You got to get acclimated to. They got to get up to speed with your system and everything. And still amazing 99, 46, and 16 record gets you fired in the league. Like it's not the regular season record that got Gerard Gallant fired. It's the postseason failures that got Gerard Gallant fired. It's we went all in this year and we're up 2-0 versus the Devils with a team whose young core it was their first time in the playoffs together, and a team that historically your young core is your first time in the playoffs. What's it called together? You usually get bum rushed. Usually get smacked around. What happened after 2 games? The Devils smacked them around. So that's the reason why Gerard Gallant got fired. It wasn't a matter of the fact that like a 99, 46, and 19 record. It was the fact that they just came up short. And do I have the same set? Do I think that Peter Laviolette's gonna make it? Do I think Peter Laviolette's gonna be the guy that takes them to where they want to go? No. But I think he's labeled it perfectly. They settled with him.
Thoughts from Alex Daly, everybody, out in Daytona, Florida. We're going to take a quick break here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And when we come back, a little geography from AJ Chasan himself. Stay tuned. We are back here on 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. This is Breaking the Ice, and the ice has now been broken because Vegas has won the Stanley Cup. That's how you break the ice. It takes like 107 games or 105.
I thought breaking the ice was defeating Kapusek in the playoffs.
And that as well. That's actually when the ice was for real broken. But
it's actually when the street was broken.
So we're making AJ do some geography.
Oh, God.
We got the Arizona Coyotes relocating possibly in the near future. AJ, where would you like to see this team end up?
I thought this was gonna be like a quiz or something.
Oh,
this ain't,
no,
I would say
no.
this ain't bad.
No. Yeah.
So, it all depends on what you want in a relocation. If you want like a safer market, two come to mind, right? Houston comes to mind.
I was thinking about that because another Texas team. We can get a rivalry down there.
Yep, Houston comes to mind. Like they'll be able to play. They'll be able to play in the Rockets arena, right? They would say they could share an arena with them. Like, hockey probably works down there. Like they're a sports town. They have an MLB team. They have an NFL team.
Yeah.
They have an NBA team. They just need an NHL team. It'll probably work. Probably. Another one I've been hearing that's been thrown around is Utah.
Dude, that's the one that everyone seems to like. The Salt Lake City.
That's
the Utah
another.
team.
That's another one. I have my doubts on that one a little bit. The arena, it's too. But like the basketball arena they have, it's too small for a hockey arena. They would have to build a newer one. The population there, it's not great. You're around markets like Vegas, with Colorado that have big fan bases now. Like, I don't know if hockey has a chance to blow up, and I don't know if Arizona would have a chance to be a bigger a big market team, a bigger market team. So, I don't know if I'd want to see it in Houston or Utah. I think if Gary Bettman and the NHL are looking for immediate fixes, those are probably the two that they're looking at. Some that I was talking about that the other day that I would like to see, Kansas City.
Yeah, we were talking about Kansas City as well. They got the Chiefs, you got the Royals there, and wherever the team goes, I'm gonna be real, it has to be out west. There are too many teams in the East.
I would say the last two expansion teams were out west.
And exactly, that's what's made the league on actual even terms. Those last two teams out west
I feel like
have done a good job.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't matter. I feel like if you're gonna expand, I actually disagree. I feel like I'd rather a team go out east.
Oh, for the team itself, absolutely. I'm
I
saying
feel like-
for the league, because the league still has to make even divisions, make even conferences.
Yeah, but you can
and
move,
the East is such a saturated part.
Yeah, but you can move teams around.
You can move teams around for sure. Because, look, when Seattle came into the league, Arizona got kicked out of the Pacific. They moved to the Central Division. But right now, the way it stands, teams are in the Western Conference. And, okay, the Chicago Blackhawks are in the West. What screams West about Illinois? Nothing. Even the Nashville Predators are out West. Okay, these are teams that are fully... This is a team in Tennessee. That's not the West.
Yeah.
So if you have another team in the East, another team has to come west. Because you're moving Arizona to the East, right? If that happens. Do they stay in the Western Conference if they move out East? I don't think that can be the case.
No, that wouldn't happen.
So a team has to either get kicked out to the West or Arizona moves and stays out West because a Western market would be very nice for the league. And that's why I feel like Utah is a great spot. Utah's a great spot for that. Even Milwaukee could be solid.
Yeah, I was thinking Milwaukee as well. I'm very against Utah. I think if you're going to Utah, I think you're going to have the same problems that you did in Arizona. It's a small market.
Well, let's throw them in Houston then, man.
Houston, that one I feel works. I know you don't like. I don't know. I know that you don't like Eastern, but the cities.
Just because
Another one I'd like is Hartford.
get the Whalers back.
Yeah,
The Hartford Yotes.
I would love with that hockey back in Connecticut. I think it works there.
So now here's the geography. What team moves to the west if the Coyotes move out to the east? Let's pull up a nice little map of NHL teams. Map of NHL teams. All right. If a team is moving out west due to the fact of the Coyotes moving to the east, it is legitimately going to have to be like Detroit or Columbus.
Probably.
But that's see how wrong that sounds?
No, and I feel like it's Columbus as a team that gets booted. because Detroit's one of the original franchises. You're not going to move them.
I hear what you're saying.
You're saying you're not going to move them.
That is just like you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
That's insane.
I do, but I also challenge that mentality because if you have that mentality, then you can't ever put a team in the East.
Yeah, fair.
You can't ever put a team in the East. I feel like if you're the NHL, your last 2 times you've expanded, it's worked beautifully, right?
Because the West needed 2 teams to make the leap.
The last time, the 2 times the NHL expanded, it's worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely worked. I feel like now I feel like there's even more pressure to make Arizona with the Coyotes work, because if it doesn't work, it's going to be a terrible look for the league. Terrible.
Now you tell me.
So if you want to keep the team out west, it's Houston.
So if they move to Hartford, Connecticut, right? The Yotes, are they moving to the Atlantic or the Metro? Are they just moving to the Metro to kick out Columbus, or are they moving to the Atlantic? 'Cause they won't move to Detroit. You're saying?
I don't think they move Detroit.
So Columbus gets moved out west.
Yeah, I feel like that's a team that gets
Because
kicked
it
out.
has to be Columbus, right?
And the crazy thing is, I think it'd be funny if Columbus gets kicked out, because the Western Conference would literally just be like teams just not on the East Coast. It'd literally just be teams not on the East Coast.
the West, because
The East would literally just be teams on the East Coast.
look at all the
like
other teams
Philly, it's near the East Coast. Washington on the East Coast.
okay, Tampa and Florida can't move west.
Yeah,
That's not possible.
I mean, Pittsburgh's not on the East Coast. Like, that's the furthest out east a team would be.
and furthest out west, you mean?
Yeah, the furthest out
Well,
west.
actually, Detroit would be the furthest out west.
Yeah.
But you can't move any other team other than Detroit or Columbus.
Yeah, no.
And this is so why. This is exactly why I think they just gotta.
I mean,
hope and pray that a team
Houston's got to pick it up. I feel like Houston's the number one.
Houston got to pick it up. Utah got to pick it up.
Milwaukee
got to
work.
pick it up. Kansas City got to pick it up. One of those 4 got to pick it up.
I would say rank these 4 in order: Houston, Utah, Milwaukee, Kansas City.
In what would be cool, or what would benefit
work
the most?
What
Okay,
what would
I feel
work?
like
I think
this is hard.
A,
This is hard.
rank it on 2. Keep 2 things in mind. A, if it would work. B, does it have the chance to grow into a bigger market than what it already is?
I feel like Utah's underrated
Okay.
because
Is that your number one?
Honestly, I'm gonna go with yeah, and here's why it's my number 1 exactly. For the reasons you're not thinking. Is it the biggest sports city? Not even close. The biggest sports city out of them is probably the other 3 all combined. But the reason that could work is because it's not that big of a sports city. Utah is obviously way further north than Arizona. So it's another bonus for hockey. It's more up north where it's colder. And a big thing for that is the fact that they only have one other sports team there, the Utah Jazz. So you'll have a lot more attention in the state of Utah on a new franchise, whereas if you go to Houston, you're going to be the 4th team in Houston. No doubt about that. You have to compete with the Texans. The Astros will be on top for life, and you want the attention. You want the attention, and if you go to Milwaukee, you'll only really. Green Bay's far, but that's Milwaukee's football team. It's Wisconsin's football team. You're competing with 3 other major sports, and if you go to Kansas City, you're competing with the Chiefs, who are the NFL's top dog right now. And you're competing with the Royals, who are not the greatest.
Yeah, and also the Royals, it's a different season. The NFL, if you move into an NFL market, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The NFL team's always going to be king.
The NBA...
It's football, Texans are going to be king.
The
the
Astros
Chiefs
are
gonna
king,
be
bro. Astros are king.
In football season, but if C.J. Stroud works for the Texans would be king in that city.
I see what you're saying.
Football will always be king in America.
But,
always.
Utah, where you're only competing with the Jazz for attention, for the top spot, that's a spot where you can also grow Utah into a bigger market. Look, Miami, they had only the Dolphins for about 20 years. And then 1989 rolled around, they put the Heat in, and by 93 and 94, here come the Florida Panthers and Sunrise, here come the Miami Marlins. It was an untapped resource that completely got tapped into during the late 80s and early 90s. And that's what Utah can turn into. They might not have it right now, they only have one franchise, but you start putting more stuff in there, you start building it, That's my favorite spot. I'd like to see a team there. That's where I want them to go number 1. But Houston, Milwaukee, like, do they even want? Like, was that even in a discussion, or is that just us saying that?
It's just
That's just us saying.
Yeah,
All right.
Milwaukee's probably 4 for me.
Houston and KC. So KC and Houston are actual locations that are being discussed?
Yes.
I want, out of those 3, I feel like just I want Utah 1, genuinely. I want that 1 just because that's another big plus for that city, another thing for those people to cheer for. They don't just have to cheer for the Jazz year round. They got something else to cheer for. I want Houston number 2 because that'll complete that sports city there, and it'll give a nice little the Dallas Stars Houston Coyotes rivalry would go hard. It would genuinely go hard. And then on top of that, I'll definitely take KC 3 because KC's cool, but like it's not like Houston though. It's not a sports city like Houston. Kansas City's getting up there. The Chiefs are big, but I feel like Houston has a bigger sports market.
All right, for me, Houston's number 1. Like even if in your hierarchy, which I would agree with this, Houston with the Coyotes be the 4th team in Houston. Would I rather be the 4th team in a big market, where I know I'm still gonna sell out every night and I'm still gonna have a big fan base, or would I rather be with
As you're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, breaking the ice, AJ Chasan talking about the Coyotes here.
Or would I rather be potentially number 1 in a small market to where I have 2 big market fan bases right next to me? I have the Knights fan base and I have the Avalanche fan base right next to me. Yeah,
I see. It's very, right in between those two. Yeah.
It's going to be harder to pull fans, and it's in a smaller market.
One thing that's good for them.
So I don't know if hockey would. I think it would work in Utah, but I don't know if hockey could be as big in Utah as it would be even as what's that big in Houston if Arizona's their number 4, if the Coyotes are their 4th team.
I see the one thing about it is
it
depends right there. That's exactly the question. What do they prefer? We don't know.
Yeah,
do they
I would rather go to the bigger market.
Like, would you like? It's sort of the question of would you rather be the bench player on the championship team, or would you rather be the starter on the team that misses the playoffs, the superstar player?
And also, you could argue that half of Texas, you'd have a bigger fan base anyway than what you would as the whole state of Utah.
But
because there's more people in Texas.
The Yotes fans are 1 state away, so they don't have to move too far. They can still support their team from a state away. So I feel like they could draw in a lot. Like, what people who live in Utah right now, who do they cheer for? They got 3 teams sandwiched around them.
I would say you probably cheer for Denver teams. Probably cheer for Denver teams, honestly.
If you live in Salt Lake City, which I'm assuming where they'd put this team.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Number 2 for me is Kansas City.
Okay.
That geographically speaking, you're not really competing with any other NHL teams there. Like you're sitting there.
The Blues are in Missouri, but
they are. But with that south of what's it called? It was a south there.
The Blues are in Missouri.
They are in Missouri, but with that south, with that like southeast, southwest, like you pretty much. I would say you pretty much have like a bigger pool to work with. And also, I think you can pull fans from the Blues, right? You're in a sports city that's growing, which I think is good. Like the Chiefs can really help you with that with your growth, because the fact that sports fans, especially in that season, like in that October, November, December, January, like sports fans are flying into Kansas City, right? They're flying into Kansas City because what they want to do? They're going to watch the Chiefs, right? What do you do after a Chiefs game? Hey, go catch a hockey. You could stay in town, catch a hockey game.
Go the Royals.
You go catch a hockey game, right? I think that would work. Also, this is just being me. Would you not want to see Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce slamming beers at a Coyotes game?
It'd be fantastic.
It'd be awesome. it would be awesome. And also, if you want star power out with like you know how like sports teams will take what's players from other sports teams in that city and they'll help them market.
Yeah.
You know, like Mike McDaniel was at the Panthers game. Like Dan Marino was there. Stuff like that. Like, could you imagine Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's following? Would you go with them marketing the absolute heck out of the Coyotes? I think that's great. I think that'd be great for the league. Also, you know how Patrick Mahomes bought a little bit of a ability to share the Royals. I think he'd do the same with the Coyotes. I think it'd work there. 3 would be Utah. Utah to me is Peter Laviolette to the Rangers. It's safe. You know it's gonna work. I don't think it has the chance to get to the heights to where you'd want it to go. But I don't think it's bad. Milwaukee, I think, would be terrible. I think Milwaukee would be bad. You have a big market with a good. You have like a bigger market. Even though I said that, and I believe that Minnesota's not one of the bigger markets in America. It's still a decent sized market in that area. You'd be competing with Wild fans. To your right, you'd be competing with Red Wings fans. You'd be competing with Canada. You'd be competing with Canada fans. Like, probably not the place you want to go. Milwaukee to me screams small market.
Milwaukee screams small market. Interesting.
Yeah, it to me for hockey it screams small market team.
I mean, fair.
And I don't know if I necessarily want that. Like and look at the last 2 teams with the cities the NHL just expanded to. Vegas, right? No sports team is in Vegas, but it's Las Vegas. Come on, that's big city.
It's a big resource that was not tapped into.
That's big city. That's big
now
time.
We got the Raiders. We got the champion Vegas Golden Knights, and wait for the A's might be coming soon.
And in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have made the argument that the Kraken are going to be Seattle's 3rd team, right?
But
I would say you think the Kraken are regretting going up to Seattle?
What?
You think Kraken management are regretting going to Seattle?
No.
It's why I don't think Coyotes management would really regret going to Houston. And also, you're living in Texas, like you're living in hot weather. Like you don't got to worry about the cold. Like you have no state tax in Texas. It'd be advantageous for free agents. Because especially in a market in a sport to where you're not getting paid $50 million a year like Aaron Rodgers, like your max like you're not getting max contract 250 level super max extensions like you are in what they're going in the NBA.
It happens, yeah. It really does happen like that.
If you're a $7-8 million player and you go to Houston, right? You're getting close to that $7-8 million, right?
Yeah.
Is that not advantageous?
I
feel like Houston would work. I like it there.
Houston would absolutely work, and it's a great idea.
Yeah, and this conversation, like, I don't want to bring the politics into it of like states and everything. Like, this is just hypothetical. Like, would the market be nice, right?
Yeah.
I think Houston. I think it's a proven sports. I think it's a proven sports town. I think it works.
It is a proven sports town.
I think it works.
No doubt about that.
I think it works. There's a chance to be big time.
So, the Arizona Coyotes, they'll be sticking in Arizona for at least another year. And Clayton Keller's dad said he wasn't going to play for them, so we'll see what happens as far as the Yotes go. But we're going to move on now to some news from Calgary. They got their new head coach, AJ Ryan Huska, to the Flames. The 47-year-old, he's been hired, and he stays right in Calgary, taking over for Daryl Suter. Like 30-year age difference here now between him and Suter, or 20-something at least. I have to think. So Huska, he was the head coach of their AHL team in 2014, and then he was the assistant of the Flames in 2018. Those are his 2 main hires, and he's stuck around this entire time. A first-time NHL head coach. Do you like a move like this?
Love it.
Yes.
I love it. It was like, because why? Because what did we just talk about with Laviolette, right?
Recycled head coaches.
Recycled head coaches, and it feels safe. This one, he's younger, he's innovative, right? He'll bring change. Like it will look different with Calgary. Will it look better? That remains to be seen. But it will look different, right? And I think that's what matters with Calgary, right? It needs to look different. It needs to look different. The system needs to change. It did not work last year. They were stale. They were slow. They got any like top team in the West that played them, they'd pound them, right? Bottom teams, it'd be close, right? they needed to get faster. They needed to get younger, and they needed to get more innovative, especially in that head coaching spot. So, seeing the Flames do this, I like it. Also, the good thing that Huska has is he's been around the organization, right? He's been around the organization pretty much for the last 10 years, right? He knows how they operate. He probably had an idea as an assistant coach, hey, if Sutter were to do something, maybe I would have done this a little bit differently, right? Maybe I could have seen hey, this didn't work, but this did, right? Maybe let me maximize this, but let me not do that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is gonna work per se, but I like the fact that they're doing something different and that the front office is committed to making a change. So that I'll give him a B plus, A minus.
B plus, A minus. It's solid stuff right there. It's absolutely solid stuff. And but they're not the only team making changes. This team making front office changes right here, but there's been a group out east making a lot of changes to their players. We're talking about the team located in Columbus, Ohio. Trades after trades, AJ. This past week, and even the week beforehand, we saw the Columbus Blue Jackets pull off 2 trades. A 3-team trade with the Flyers and the Kings. Ivan Provorov headed to Columbus with 30% of his salary heading to L.A., and then we have Damon Severson getting traded for a third, and also signing an extension of 8 years, $6.25 million a season. What? What?
That contract's crazy.
So
that contract's bad.
Let me this is the perfect time to reach out to our friendly group chat and message all of our favorite Devils fans.
I think we're good.
Thoughts on the Sevo contract. So let me
just read Devils Report, Devils Fanatics, and you'll get what you need out of that.
Fair.
But nah, good for I think the biggest winner of all these 2 transactions were Damon Severson. I think he was great. He's getting paid like a number 1 defenseman. He's getting 6.25 over 8 years. It's phenomenal. He's not worth that at all. He's worth 4. He's probably worth 4. I probably would have given him 4 for 4 maybe. 8 for 6.25. That's insane. And they also gave up a 3rd round pick. And I think the funniest part of that entire 2 trade exchange is that Philly, they got picks. They got 1st round picks and 2nd round picks for eating Cal Peterson and also being able to get rid of Ivan Provorov. That was cool. And getting that 4.725 off the books. That was cool for a rebuilding team. The Kings, all they did is they were able to ship off Cal Peterson. They got nothing back besides taking on 30% of Provorov's contract, and they cleared out $5.25 million in cap space. They opened up 5.2 on their books. The Kings you know what's crazy in a 3-team trade, when you're getting the face of the trade, and you're the biggest loser of the trade, and you're the team that arguably did the worst in the trade. To me, that's crazy. Columbus, did they get better from this? Yes, of course they did, right? That'd be crazy to say they didn't. But, this just does...
Assets after assets, man.
But, talk about a way to just throw away $11 million of your cap.
And I got responses now.
Oh, they
Daniel
texted?
Lamoya says, well-deserved payday for him. I'm going to stop it right there, and you just respond to that in itself right there.
I agree. Well-deserved. The fact that he was able to sell the Devils' 2nd, 3rd pair and get 6.25 a year for 8, well, that was great. I am not criticizing David Severson at all for this.
Yeah.
It's great. I love seeing players get paid. I got no issues with this on his side whatsoever.
I'm talking about from Columbus' side.
Oh, no. Columbus got fleeced.
They got
taken to the bank.
Daniel says it wouldn't have made sense for the Devils to give him anything more than a year.
It would have
and
made
we get something out of it. A third-round pick.
Yes. Like it wouldn't have made sense to the Devils to bring him back at all.
Because Simone Nemec is coming.
That and Luke, and with that him and with that, and you're gonna have Luke Hughes for a full season. It would have made no sense for them to bring back David.
Daniel
Severson.
says it's a little strange he went to Columbus instead of a contender. But if he's happy, he's happy.
Yeah,
I mean, he's with Johnny Hockey now.
I think signing my 8-year deal, my long-term deal that I'm gonna probably play out my career with at $6.25 a year. I think I'd be pretty happy leaving a contender.
Yeah.
I think I'd be pretty happy with it. I don't think I'd be complaining.
Columbus's D got their D man there. So now let's look at the Devils report post about it. So though unfortunate, this was a move the Devils likely had to make with Simone Nemec coming through the pipeline. The Columbus Blue Jackets got a great one. Now let's see what Devils fanatics.
No, another underrated piece. The Devils got a 3rd-round pick.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What can I say, man? What can I say? What? This is only just the second sign and trade in NHL history. Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that it was a second.
Yeah, that really doesn't happen.
So let's see what Devils Fanatics didn't really post an opinion about it. He just kind of posted it. No opinion, just it.
Come on, Justin.
Come on, Justin. Oh my God. Give us something, kid. Come on. Justin Brady. The GOAT himself.
He is the GOAT.
He's going to the Mets game today. To go get more sad. He's gonna get more sad today.
I know this is a hockey show,
But,
so we
yeah.
we won't spend much time on this. We'll get back to we'll get to the sport that we actually should be talking about. But I couldn't imagine working doing my summer job, my part-time job at a golf course, and then spending my hard-earned cash, right?
To watch the 30-win Mets.
To go watch Justin Verlander pitch against Garrett Cole, who's gonna get Justin Verlander's gonna get shelled tonight. I couldn't imagine watching with a team where I'm not gonna get Pete Alonso. I'm gonna watch Francisco Lindor go 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and then I'm gonna watch Buck Showalter after my pitcher for the second time this season gets ejected for sticky stuff, not say anything. It's sort of like, okay, and sort of like be like Bill Miller's little side piece. What's it called? That entire thing.
I hear you.
But watch him at the end of the 9th inning pitch hit Luis Guillorme with the game on the line. Dude, it's an atrocity. And before we get off this, and before we get back to hockey, before we said this, I said this in the group chat the other day, but I want to get your thoughts on it. If the Mets miss the playoffs this year, right, with the $300 million payroll, I personally think that Buck Showalter's time with the Mets is more embarrassing than Mickey Callaway and Luis Rojas. If he misses the playoffs this season with a $300 million payroll with this roster.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
I think it's 100% not even close.
Because they missed the playoffs in his first season as the manager, I believe, right? 2 years ago or last year?
Buck Showalter. No, let's not. Last year they won 100 games with Buck Showalter, but they got shelled by the Padres in the wild card.
Last year was his first year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
but they got shelled by the Padres.
Yeah, the Padres ruined it, and so far, yikes.
It ain't been good. I mean, I think that's almost what happens when you pay with a 238 with a plus-year-old pitcher 40 a season.
What can I say, man? We're exclusive around here. We got a show that doesn't even necessarily just cover the sport with the puck. We can do other things too, you know.
Yeah, but let's get back to puck.
We can get back to the puck.
Get back to hockey.
Because, I wonder what it's like being Justin or Daniel, though. You share 2 teams in common with Frank the Tank. Like,
you share a team with Frank the Tank as well.
I could not believe that when I learned that information. I did not know Frank the Tank was a Dolphins fan. And I was like, why?
I feel like Frank the Tank is the thing that should inspire all of us sports fans the most. Frank the Tank is the epitome of where you need to get to as a sports fan.
You ever watched his Tanks Cooks videos on YouTube?
Yes.
You ever watched the one with the steak?
Yes.
Where he charbos it outside and he burns the whole thing and he's like, what happened?
Do you watch JJ Watt's reaction to it up part of
I did not know JJ Watt made a reaction to that video. I have to see that now. I have to see that. didn't know JJ react.
It
JJ
was
watched.
like he sets the oven to like 400 degrees, and he's like, "I'm gonna leave it on for 30 minutes." All right, it's been about 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's the funniest part.
And then,
No.
and then he looks dumbfounded at this.
The best one is Frank trying to eat hummus. Dude, that video, it's like 3 seconds long, and he hates the hummus. And oh, bro, just his taste test.
We gotta
videos.
get Frank the tank on breaking the ice.
If we get Frank on breaking the ice, I think the whole group chat will show up. They'll call out of work everything. They can't miss that one. Honestly, yeah. I'll get Frank if Frank will come on the show. I'm DM him now. Everyone start DMing Frank. We're gonna start DMing
After the
Frank.
show, we got a DM on the Instagram account with the breaking the ice account.
Yo, I just gotta remember because looking at Devil's Fanatics, and he posted the video of the Prudential Center engulfed in the orange air. Were you? What was South Jersey like last week? Because it was Wednesday, the day it was orange outside. Up here, I came in for Ant and Maz, and I did the show. Right when we were walking up that morning, it smelled like smoke everywhere, but you could see the sun. It was white out. It looked normal. Did the show. After the show was over, we just walked out. We walked into that hallway. It's yellow outside. We're like, what has occurred?
I would say funny story. I was like myself and what's it called? She's been around the show, Kim.
Yeah.
I would say we were actually going to the Phillies game that night.
Oh.
Yeah, I would say we were. It was part of her graduation present. What's it called? That I gave to her. So.
Didn't it get canceled that night?
Huh?
It got canceled that night.
Yeah,
right?
it got canceled. But like
Okay.
it got canceled at like 4:45 ish. I think because we were on the way to Philly. I would say we left from her house at Tom's River, and we were on the way to Philly.
You drove from Tom's. She lives in Tom's River, bro. So you had to drive across the state, like west across. Okay.
Yeah, so we were we're on 70. I would say we were going to Philly, right? And it was like we were like 35 minutes away, and then we got the thing like that it was canceled because down like by where we were, it just looked like it was cloudy. Like that's it. It smelled like smoke. But it just looked like it was cloudy. And then, like, on the way back, like, it got orange.
Yeah.
And then
it was the weirdest thing driving in that, bro.
I would say I drove in that, like, probably for the last, like, 15 minutes of, like, our like, hour, 45-minute car ride, just going back and forth, doing nothing. Yeah, I burnt, like, a quarter tank of gas, like for that. So that wasn't fun. But, like, I remember I was looking out the window that day because I was looking out the window that night, and like the air quality was up to like 400. I would say where we were.
Yeah.
I would say up to like 400. It just looked like just like an orange haze. I would say that was like at 7, and then at night it looked trippy too.
I didn't look outside when it was nighttime. I didn't know what it looked like.
I would say at night it just looked down there. It just looked like just the darkest of gray.
The darkest of gray.
Like I was like like on like like a black to white color scale.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. Yeah.
that, like
darkest of gray.
Yeah. If I would say if you ever you ever take like an art class, you have to make like those color shade things. You have to start with and you know how you have like a pencil and stuff, and you got to go from white to like as dark as you possibly can, like to like black, and like you have to do like different. You have to go shade by shade by shade. It was like take the black shade. And then like the next shade closest to it, right? That's what it looked like outside.
Dude, I came in here for the show. We came out for Ant and Maz. It was yellow out. Driving to get food, and it was just like all my colors were messed up at that moment because like everything's off. And then Mateo and I come in here. We can finally breathe. Do breaking the ice. We walk outside after that show's over, and it's back to white. We're like, what? It was yellow just for during the shows.
Yeah.
And then we walked back out after breaking the ice. It was white again. I'm like, man, what's going on with the world right now? Still a little yellow, but the sun in the break between shows, it was just, you could stare right at it. There's just this red dot in the sky, and it was a surreal experience, a very surreal experience here at WMSC Upper Montclair. Maz was like, dude, it is yellow outside. This is so scary. Why is it not a state of emergency?
Dude, it was bad. It was bad.
But We prevailed, and
I saw the pictures in New York. Like it was like we were sitting there. It was like 1 o'clock. It was still like it looked like it was sunny. Like at 1 o'clock like on Wednesday for us, it looked like it was like just like partly cloudy. Like the sun was out, everything. Like you could see like it was sort of bright outside. And then we were looking at my phone. And we were looking at the GW, and the GW was like orange. Like you couldn't see it. And we were like, yo, what? And then, like, throughout the day, it, like, progressively got worse. And then by the time it was, like I'd say 5:45, 6, it got bad down there.
what can I say, man? We don't even know. Thankfully, it's all over now. It's all over now.
That was one of the more wild experiences you'll have.
And that was definitely one of the more wild experiences that we'll experience. Wilder than the Cats making it this far. Because,
Yeah.
at least I had it in my bracket, but no one predicted the sky being orange. That's a fact.
Canada.
Nobody saw the sky being orange.
Canada, we love you for hockey, but control your fires.
Control your fire, please. So
Control your fires.
now
We
we've
love you,
gotten
but come
up
on.
to date on a ton of the off-season moves.
Okay.
I don't think there's not much more out there. Now it's just like draft time.
Yeah, I would say you're just prepping for draft
We're
right now.
getting ready for the draft.
And then like you're starting your free agents and everything, and then July 1st, what's how we roll with free agency. June 28th, we roll with
Who's
the draft.
big free agent?
I would say we'll run through free agents right now. I would say I'm on cap friendly.
Let's go.
I would say you got Patrick Kane you got your Kane Tays out there. You got your Ryan O'Reilly your Vladimir Tarasenko's.
All the rentals.
You got your rentals out here. You start going younger, like you got your Alex DeBrincat, who's an RFA. You got Sean Monahan, who's going to be he's a UFA. He's going to be coveted. Timo Meyer, RFA. Matt Dumba, UFA. Someone's going to pay him. You got Pierre-Luc Dubois, who's an RFA. He's going to be like the ultimate rental.
Yeah.
He's gonna be you know how he likes open about wanting to go to Montreal, like he wants to go play in Montreal. PLD. I feel like if you're a team, right? He's an RFA with a qualifying offer at $6 million, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a team, right? If I'm a team like a Colorado, right? Why wouldn't if I could attach a piece in a first round pick to go get a PLD and sort of make my trade deadline acquisition now, solidify that 2C, a role that they haven't been able to since Kadri left. That'd be a move I'd be interested in. You got Jonathan Drouin, who's a UFA. He'll get a nice deal from someone. You got Jason Zucker, who's a UFA, former Penguin.
Hey.
I would say I don't think he's coming back.
No.
I don't think he's coming back. I would say you got Jesper Bratt, who's an RFA.
That one's interesting because
I would say him and Timo Meyer, both RFAs. So what are they gonna do? We were talking about this, so I'm saying let's actually get into this.
Okay.
So I posed a question to Connor before the show. Like, if you were the Devils and you had to choose, right? If you had to choose between bringing back Bratt or bringing back Meyer, who would you bring back? Because with their cap situation, about $34 million, like of open space, like they could bring back both. Like it's not one or the other. They definitely could bring back both.
Bratt for sure. I feel like.
But I'm saying in the situation where they would have to choose. Like it's just a hypothetical. So like Devils fans don't come at me.
Choose the guy.
Devils fans don't come at me because it's very realistic to probably come back with both.
I feel like.
Probably come back with both.
At that point, Timo Meyer, because you gave up so much for him.
Yeah, I feel like you bring back Timo, especially with the 40 goal potential. He's got the true 200-foot game, like he's got the physical game, he's got the defense to where you could throw him on a line with Nico or Jack, and you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that side. He'll defend you. He'll defend great. Like he can shut down a team's #1 goal scorer. Like when you're in your man-to-man. Like, and then off the rush, like he can create his shot. Oh my god, his shot is great. Like
on fire, man.
Yeah, I feel like you bring back Timo. I think it's gonna end up being a moot point because I think they're just gonna end up bringing both. They're two great players. Like they got to find a way to get both back on the roster. They just have to find a way to get both back on the roster. But I don't think that's gonna be too much of an issue for them. To keep it going, you got guys like with your Dmitry Orlovs, who apparently he wants close to like $8 million. Dmitry Orlov.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I read a report that he wants close to an $8 billion deal. If that's the case, at 31 years old, you got to be signed short term It's like a 1-2 year deal at that point. Because you ain't getting that over term, that's for sure. Then you got your Tyler Bertuzzi's, which Dubas. Kyle
Dubas.
Kyle Dubas.
Did AJ want? How much do you want this man?
He's my number one target in free agency.
There's your answer.
Yeah,
Kyle Dubas. Go get him. Go get him.
He's a guy I want. Tristan Jarry. We got him as a free agent, which probably won't be back in Pittsburgh because he wants term. Dubas doesn't give term. And then you got some nice bottom six guys like your Alexander Kerfoots, your JT Compers. Like the free agency is deep this year. It is deep and rich with talent. I can go on and on and on and on and on. This is a great year if you need young bottom sixers. If you need young bottom sixers, this is the year.
Okay.
This is the year to spend money. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be
Bertuzzi though could be a top sixer.
He can be a top sixer. He would play in the top six in Pittsburgh.
Probably definitely
he would play in the top six in Pittsburgh. But your boy wants him.
Your boy wants him. Your boy wants him.
I would feed me an Evgeny Malkin, Tyler Bertuzzi, Alex Nylander line.
So
throw Brian Rust in the bottom six. Feed me that line.
So now I have a question. A couple weeks ago I did the show by myself, right?
Yeah, that's not fun.
It was great.
Oh, wow.
And when I did it, I went through every team and what they needed to win a championship, right?
Okay. What'd you say about Pittsburgh?
I don't even remember.
Nice.
But it's on there. I know it's in there. And it was definitely well, now they have the new front office because the Kyle Dubas stuff had happened by then.
Yeah.
I believe. So I was saying the front office made the changes, so now it's just run it back, make some more signings because it's not like they don't have the championship caliber guys. They have the guys to do it. They just got to actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they need to improve that. It can't be all in the top six like it was last year. Like you can't. You can't take two without great shifts without your top six, and then two bad shifts with your bottom six, and then and then have your top six jump on in the D zone. And with too many times last year, the top six would take two great shifts. Then one of the lines in the bottom six have a bad shift. The Crosby line would start out in the D zone. Then they would have, they would have to clean up with the bottom six mess. The Malkin line, they would have a good shift, and then it was back, and then it was back to having two rough shifts. Right? They need to find a way to roll four lines.
4 lines deep.
They need to find
top 12.
Yeah, they need to find a way to roll four lines.
No top 6 and bottom 6. You need a top 12.
Yeah, they need to find a way to roll four lines again. That's when they're most successful.
The Cats had the top 12 in 2022. I remember those days. It's a very nice thing having a top 12 instead of a bottom 6.
It is, and that's the dream. But if you can have three lines that can score, then your fourth line as a line that can defend, like
incredible, man.
Even that's great.
So now, I don't remember what I said for Pittsburgh, but I'm gonna give me your top 10 teams that can win next season. Oof. I know that's very hard to do on the spot. All so right. You can have time to think about it, unless you have some clear, obvious ones.
Am I throwing this in order?
Yeah.
Oof.
I know it's hard. I know that's a very...
All right. You know what? I'll go in order. Why not?
Go one first, because that makes it easier.
Yeah. Number 1, I'm going to go Colorado.
Hey.
I'm going to go
Bringing it back.
I still think they're the best roster on paper. I think that, you know what, like that core, like, if they make a move for another top sixer, I know the Landeskog, news, it hurts. He's probably not going to be back the next 2 seasons. Like, I feel for him, but that core is still great. Whenever you have Nate McKinnon, Rantanen, and McCarr, like especially with Jared Bednar behind the bench.
What's not good for them is Gabriel Landeskog is out for the year.
Yeah, he's out for next year. Like, but if they can get another top sixer, like, they're going to be right back into it. And to me, they're my preseason favorite. Number 2, this is gonna shock a lot of people. I'm gonna go Carolina.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Carolina. I think they're by far the most well-coached team in the league. I think Rod Brind'Amour is the best coach team in the league. The best coach in the league, rather. I think that Carolina, they're so close this year. They just need a little bit more firepower, and if they get it, I think they're right now, I think right now that would be my pick in the East.
They are very close. So that'd be your pick. So Carolina and Colorado.
That'd be number
Stanley Cup Finals.
That would be my before free agency and before draft.
That's true.
Pick.
We still have free agency in the draft to
Yep.
go through. But as of right now, okay.
Number 3, I'd roll Edmonton.
Western Conference Finals.
I'd roll Edmonton. There was a
Edmonton versus Colorado.
Yep. It was a best player, was a best duo in the league. They're always going to have a shot. They got to figure out how to retool that roster. Like, the cap's not looking in their favor, but it's eventually one of these years, Connor McDavid and Draisaitl are going to will their team to the cup. And I feel like as long as they're in their prime, they have to be up here. If they
always have a
group
shot
around
yeah.
them. Yes. Number 4, I'm going to roll Vegas.
Okay, so we got Vegas and Edmonton right back. Of course, because Vegas is literally the cup champions.
Yeah, I would say we're going to roll Vegas back here. I think right now as their roster stands, they're one of the best teams in the league. They're going to have to retool it because they have a lot of key guys in the market. But I trust their management. I still feel they're one of the 5 best teams in the league. Number 5, I'm going to say New Jersey.
Ooh, man.
It was their young core, their first time at the playoffs last year. They're a 100-point team last year. They're going to be even better. They have about $30 million. They have about $35 million in cap space to work with. They got to bring back their 2 horses in the top 6 though. They got to get Brat and Meyer back. They're going to have a lot of young blood in that bottom pair of their D. They're with Simone Nemec and Luke Hughes.
So a second round rematch of Carolina Devils next season.
Could very well see it.
Could very well see it.
I'd like to see them make I'd like to see them make a big splash this offseason. I'd like to see them make one big move. But even if they don't, they're still one of the 5 best teams in the league right now.
Hey.
Number 6, I'm going to roll Tampa here.
Of course.
Because with that core, with John Cooper, they'll always have a shot, right? They'll always have a shot. They're always going to be one of the better teams. The top to bottom, their roster's still great. They're still going to have to make changes, but we can say that about any team in the league.
Literally.
Yeah, but I'm gonna roll with the experience there. Number 7, I'm gonna roll Dallas here.
The Stars.
You could argue one of the 3 most complete teams in the league.
Stars Avs second round. Book it, guys.
Mm-hmm. I think the Stars need to get a little bit faster in that bottom 6. I'd like to see them go after a 2 seed this offseason, and I'd like to maybe see them go after a second pair of defensemen, but I think that those are fixes. Other than the 2 seed, those are fixes that you can get. So I like Dallas' chance going into next year. Number 8, we're gonna go with number 8 here. We're gonna go with the Rangers.
Ooh, Tanner Price and the Rags.
We're gonna go with the Rags here. I felt really uninspiring about Peter Laviolette, but you still can't argue the talent. You can't argue the top, but the core is still great. They're going to have a lot of decisions to make in free agency with only $11.7 million to work with. This is a team that right now, pre-draft, pre-free agency, are 8. I can see them falling out of my top 10, depending on the offseason.
That's true. There's a lot. There's so much unanswered questions.
Yep, but right now...
This is one of those way too early predictions.
Yep, but right now, we're just going to take the roster that we have right now, and it's one of the 10 best in the league, by far. Number 9, we're going to go Buffalo.
The Sabres.
We're going to go Buffalo here. I think it's nothing but up with this team. This might be a little bit of aggressive of a ranking, but I don't care.
He doesn't care.
I don't care. Yes, I do. I have them over Toronto. I have them over that type of team. I have them over Boston. But you know what? Buffalo just screams next year's New Jersey Devils.
Oh, okay.
In terms of the point jump, next year it screams it. And if that's the case, I'd rather be early on this trend than be late. So I'm gonna go Buffalo at 9. Number 10, I'm not gonna do it. Not going to say them. But at number 10, I'm going to roll the Florida Panthers.
Yeah!
I'm going to roll the Florida Panthers here. They have some moves that they're going to need to make. They're going to need to get better. They're going to need a little bit deeper. But they have 10 in cap to work with. They don't really have too many big UFAs that they're going to have to bring back. Eric Stahl, Mark Stahl, they're probably gone.
Bye Stall Bros. It was a good run while you guys were
Gudis,
there.
he's probably gone. I'm gonna say Rock with that
Gudis
Radko
gone?
Gudis.
Really? We can't have that happen.
With that you could figure that. With that you can get a guy for cheaper there. And other
The
than
Butcher. Goodbye, my friend.
yeah, but this team's great. This Florida team's great. Like they're gonna be hungry next year.
They just need a defense and
They just need to get deeper in that decor.
they need to get deeper in the decor because
Maybe a little bit better 3C.
compared to Lundell,
Yeah, a little bit better. Just a little bit.
I think
I like Wendell better. I like Wendell right now better as a winger. Like
center.
especially I think Wendell's gonna be great. Don't get me wrong.
Hey,
I think Wendell's I think he profiles into what's called the top 6 center of the league, right?
hey, okay.
No, it's like he playing in their top 6, not top
Yeah.
6 total. But I think he profiles as a guy that can play in the top 6, right? But this is a team that's now we just made the cup. We got to go,
Yeah,
right? We got to go. We got to win this thing. We got to win this thing next year. I don't know if I really want my 21-year-old with an ELC, what's it called, player as my 3C on the championship team. You know, I think I'd rank him better on the wing, and if he's your 4C, I feel great about that.
yeah. They rolled with him as the 3C these past 2 years.
I think we get a little bit better than that next year, just a little bit, just a bit.
So
but
throw
that-
him down to the 4C, put him as a winger.
But yeah, but when you're as good of a team right now as Florida is, right? If that's my gripe,
yeah,
you're in a good spot.
yeah. They're in a pretty solid spot.
You're in a good spot. I think
Defensively, they could do better as far as the fact of like, so first line is great, right? Ekblad's cool, Gustav Forsling's cool, and Montour is phenomenal. He was the best defenseman.
they got to fill out their bottom 4 in their
It's
D.
Mark Stahl who he's Mark like he's just
gone.
a body.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
he's
saying?
gone.
And the third line of defense was Gudis, which was good, but Josh Mahura was just again a body.
Mm-hmm.
So you could fill out the bottom 4 defense there because losing
They're
Mackenzie Weegar left that hole,
Mm-hmm.
which was not necessarily filled.
Yeah, it definitely stung a little bit.
And offensively, like goaltending is just Sergei Bobrovsky is stuck there. Let's
Yeah.
be real, he's stuck there. When's his contract up? Let me look it up.
His contract's up in 26-27.
So he's
I'm
stuck.
saying 3 more seasons.
So if,
3 more
if
at
it's going to
10.
happen, he's going to be the goaltender. Pretty
Mhm.
much. So
I would say you're not going to get off this contract without if you attach without like probably a 1, but you don't have a 1 in the next 3 years.
yeah,
So,
that's in Montreal.
Yeah.
That's in Philadelphia, and I believe the last one is in Calgary.
It is in Calgary.
So yeah, we don't got ones.
Yeah, but you're not. I'm gonna say you're not gonna be able to attach a 1 to do it. You're pretty much stuck there, unless if you wanted to attach like 2 2s. But then you pretty much lock yourself in your core because you're not gonna have 1 or 2s. You're not gonna be able to make that many big for the trade deadline acquisitions,
Well,
So-
they didn't make a single trade this past season, so
which is
maybe
crazy to me. I don't think that's sustainable. I think, but also, you can make the argument last year that this year was there really that many big like trade deadline acquisitions that actually worked.
that actually worked.
That actually like provided value to a team.
Tyler Bertuzzi. but they
Bertuzzi,
didn't
yes.
even win a series.
I would say yeah, but he didn't win a series. Also,
Ivan Barbashev.
That's probably it.
That's probably it.
That's probably it off the top of my head. There's probably more, but not a lot.
Let's think. What's who went back to the Capitals? Who got traded to the Caps? The D-man.
Let me say, but that was a long term. That was a long term plan for them. Like,
I see what you're saying.
let me say, that was a long term acquisition. That was just because Toronto was just punting. Toronto was just trying to just get players to win now.
So
Yeah, I know who I know who you're talking about. I would
But-
say Rasmus Sandin. Like,
yeah, Sandy.
yeah, like, I don't know why they traded him. By the way,
But those,
that was crazy.
all in all, AJ's top 10 teams
What's your top 10?
to win the Stanley Cup next year. Let's give them a clap. Number 1 is the Florida Panthers. Number 2 is the Florida Panthers. Number 3 is the Florida Panthers. Number
Alright,
4
we
is the
get it.
Florida Panthers. Oh goodness, mate! We got 17 minutes left on this show. We did a solid job. We really did do a solid job.
We have so far.
Like Forgetting Tanner existed was a great excerpt.
I'm not gonna live that one down.
No, listen. I was almost gonna give you the hint of he has the face for radio, as my hint.
I would have guessed it immediately.
What?
I can't believe I said that.
No.
That was crazy.
So.
That was crazy. I gotta feel a little bit bad about that. it's not bad. I'm not gonna take it back. It's true. Boy. I gotta feel a little bit bad about that.
You know what? Let's do the ranking list. Ranking list. AJ, you gotta rank the Breaking the Ice cast members.
All right, what's the criteria? 'Cause I'll do this.
What?
I'll do this. What's the criteria?
Okay. No, just on like how much you like them as people.
So I'm guessing this is also going to be an Instagram quote.
No. I mean, it could be.
Okay.
Let's this is a collab list.
Oh, this is easy.
Let's make this collab list here. So
number one's Campbell.
no, yeah.
Number one's Campbell.
Anybody? Oh, what happened there? Okay, we're not on the list. It's everyone else.
Yeah. If Campbell's not number one for any of y'all, like for any of the Breaking the Ice members, if Campbell's not number one, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah. I agree.
Campbell's the GOAT.
And
Campbell's just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life.
Number two, for me, it's Justin Brady. How about you? I'll explain my reasoning.
Number two for me is Mateo.
Mateo Magalino. Number two, Justin Brady. The memes that we have created because of Justin's existence are vital to this show's existence.
Fair enough. But are we talking about this? Like, are we talking about how much we like him in terms of the show? Or are we talking about if we're just as people?
They're not. Well, let's just say
like how we personally feel about them.
Oh, how we personally feel about them? Oh no. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the closest to Justin, but we can rework it then. Let's see what they mean to the show. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, what they mean to the show. All right, let's just get this. Let's just go bottom.
Well, Campbell's still number one.
Campbell's still number one, of course. Like
bottom. We're gonna go bottom to top.
Let's go bottom to top. This will be a collab list, and then we'll do personal.
All right, so Vincent and Forbes don't count because they have never made it on the show.
Yeah, they're last.
My friend Max came on here, but you never met him. So like,
oh, is this the 973 number?
Yes.
Max.
So
Breaking the Ice.
So now we got last place. Oh boy, can't be Nem. It's last place. Catherine only came on one time, but she had a great episode when she did.
Yeah, no.
So this is really difficult, bro. Who's the John Giftopoulos?
Yeah.
This man, John, has made it twice, and he's just gone up on the mic and been like, "Yo, dude, the Rangers, man, they lose the game. Dude, they're feeble, bro."
Yeah.
I think that's
too much Kappa Sig talk on the mic.
Yeah, that's another reason. He plays for Kappa Sig, bro. That's automatic last place.
Automatic
last
right,
place.
All right,
bro.
so John's last.
Yeah, no doubt. And
all right, who's second last?
This is not. All right, second to last member. Okay. All right.
All right. How about this? You can rank me and I can rank you.
I feel like this is my friend Maxwell coming because he only came on for one episode, so I feel like.
I don't know, so I'll defer this one to you.
You know what? I feel like he could be last actually, because he only came on one time.
Okay.
And John has to be at least second last. He's made it twice.
No, Max came on one time, but he's not affiliated with Kappa Sig.
With Kappa Sig, you're right. All right,
yeah,
John, back to last. Max, you're second to last because he came on one time. He had a solid episode, but
all right.
But he only came on the show once exactly.
Okay.
You're second to last.
Max, second to last.
You're second to last.
Me?
Yeah. Unless it's a collab. This is a collab list. I forgot.
If I'm second to last, I'll take it.
No. I'm saying who's your person?
Oh, I was saying that. Oh, okay. No, I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you on that one. I have no. Max, never met you.
You
definitely could go up on this.
I just forgot Forbes and.
It's only up from here.
I gotta just cover Forbes and Picone's name because they never made it. So now we got candidates for third to last. Alex.
I feel like we have to take numbers of episodes into account.
Yeah. Mateo, Vitali,
and Catherine.
Catherine came on once.
All right, Catherine's definitely at the top of the
top of the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah.
The top of the bottom.
I feel like we have to.
But
No, we don't. That was because Catherine's better than Mateo, not Tally.
this is hard, man. This is.
I feel. What would say?
We're hurting a lot of feelings here.
I was
we're breaking a lot of hearts.
I would say who do you rank as the face of breaking the ice? I would say higher, Mateo or Vitali. I'm putting the spot on you.
Oh, out of those two, Matt's came on 3 times, I think. To Mateo's 2 times.
All right, so Mateo, then Matt, and then Catherine. Are you down with that?
3, 4, 5.
Okay.
We're filling out the bottom 6 of breaking the
All
ice.
right, so the bottom. I'm gonna say so. The bottom we got John, then we got Max, then we got Mateo, Vitali, Catherine.
That's and to round out the bottom 6, it's either Alex or Nem. Who's making into the bottom 6?
Nem.
Oh man, this instant answer right there.
No question about it. It's them. Absolutely them.
And why is that?
Bro, every time we do episodes, like, at least Alex talks. Like, at least Alex talks not being prompted. She'll just sit there on her Mac. Like,
She'll just sit there
and then when we ever talk about the Devils, for the 15-minute segment we do on the show, like, she'll be like, yeah, Jack Hughes is great. Like, it's absolutely Nem. Like, this isn't even an argument.
Oh, poor Nem.
It's 100% Nem over Daly. And there's nothing personal.
And she
against
didn't
Nem.
even cheer for us at our hockey games.
Yeah, like, no, you know what, Nem? What's it called? I would say in between Max and John. She didn't come to a
my
hockey
God.
game. She didn't come to a hockey game. And remember, she said she'd root for a frat over us.
So
You remember that. You remember that. She didn't say she'd root for us over a frat. I forgot which one it was. I think it was Pike.
Maybe? Yes.
Yeah. But she said she'd root for them over us. So she's with John.
She's second to last. So Nem has been gotten. Nem is the bottom D pair. She's on the bottom D pair. Oh goodness, man. So it's her and John at the bottom. Fantastic. And then Max, Mateo, Matt, Catherine.
Yeah.
That's the bottom 6.
And then
now the top 6 candidates. So we got you, me, Daniel, Alex, Tanner, Justin, and Campbell. So it's a top 7.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me do math. 1, us 2 right here. Daniel's left, Alex is left, Tanner, Campbell, Brady. All right. That's it. That's the top 7. This is ridiculously hard to wow.
All right, this one, now it gets difficult.
Now it gets really hard.
I feel like we go daily. Just
all right, we're
because
1 and 2. Just let's just get that out of the way. We're 1 and 2 because we
Boom.
have made it to the most episodes, and I've been here every episode.
And in
because
the
it's my
show's in the show's creation, who are the 2 people that Matt put together?
us.
W.
So we're 1 and 2. It's just a fact.
1 and 2, and then Campbell's 3.
Campbell's 3. Okay.
Campbell's 3.
Like honestly, Campbell's 1. We're 2 and 3.
Okay. All right. I'm cool with that.
We're the top line. We are the top line.
Okay. I would say you're 2 on 3 because you run the board.
Now here's where things get interesting. 3 through 4, 3 through 6, 3 through 4 through 7. Okay. We have to choose between Daniel, Alex,
Tanner, and Justin.
All right. Alex is 7.
Okay.
Straight up.
All right. Yeah.
Just because
He's came to the least bad.
he probably came a few times.
And then 6 is Justin.
But he played 6 as Justin.
Yes.
Just dude, I feel like
Yes. On the day that he won a bet and he could have made fun of me, he wore an Ottawa Senators shirt.
this is ridiculously hard to choose 3 through 5, bro, because they're all like tied for 3 right there.
No, it's not. I'm gonna say it's Justin, it's Tanner, and then it's Daniel.
He had an instant answer. I'm here struggling.
Justin, Tanner, Daniel.
So Daniel's 3.
Daniel's
4.
Daniel's 4. Tanner's 5. Justin 6.
Well, this was quick. That was quick.
Absolutely.
Yo, we know the 2 clips going on Instagram later are, I think, they're gonna be the best IG clips this show has ever seen in the history of the Instagram, because Tanner got forgotten about, and now we just ranked everybody on the show based off what they mean to the show. So I'm expecting comments from everybody. Like, I'm ready for comments. Nem is definitely giving a comment. I can hear it.
Well, I'm the one that's gonna get chirped.
Yeah, he might get chirped.
But do you agree with the rankings?
I feel like I'm putting Justin 4. Just the memes that have come.
All right.
From Justin, like, bro, the double tap.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. All right. All right. Just because of double tap, I'll give it to you.
Justin's 4 just off of
Just
double
because of
tap.
double
He's up
tap.
to 4. And then what? Daniel's 5 and Tanner's 6.
Yeah. All right. So,
I can live with that.
All right. So what's the list? We have Campbell 1.
Campbell,
Yourself is 2.
myself,
Then me.
Justin, Daniel,
Tanner,
Alex.
Daly.
And then it goes.
So that's the top
then
7.
it's Catherine.
Catherine. Yep.
Then Vitali,
Yep.
Mateo.
Yep.
And then
Nem. And then
it's-
Justin.
it goes Max,
Yeah, Max, then Nem, then Justin.
and then Dan and John. Yeah,
Yeah, and
dude,
John.
Nem second to last. Oh God, Professor Green would be proud.
He would be proud.
Professor Green would be proud.
Just you can't. I would say you can't be part of breaking the ice and declare your allegiance to our street hockey team to another frat. They would say besides us.
And John, yeah, he's last. Like, come on, man, he can't be playing for Kappas.
I would say you can't. I would say he chose Kapasig over us, and he got beat.
And he did get beat. Yo, he played third line defense or like.
Talk about invaluable. Invaluable to the show.
Invaluable.
Invaluable to the show. Invaluable to the Kapasig street hockey team.
Oh, he'd be valuable to the show if he showed up. If
Yeah.
he showed up, John. This is gonna be an 8-minute clip. This is gonna be a lot.
All right,
I'm
now
ready
it's all right. Now we do personal bias lists.
Oh God.
You'll go first.
All right, I'm ordering this off of like.
Now we go personal bias list.
I've been friends with. Okay. Dude, this is not gonna make it on the internet right here.
No, this has to go in the clip.
So, number 1. Oh God. This is like, yo. All right, hold on. I can help this out. Give me one. Starting with last place. This is where do you even? How does this even happen?
I have my list in my head.
How did I
already.
get put in this situation where I had to do this?
You go first because we got 5 minutes left. I could ramble through my list really fast. It's up to you. It's up to you to start.
They're all number 1.
All right, let's stop with the politically correct answer. Let's
Stop
give
with
the
the
list.
PC here. Okay.
Let's give the list.
I feel like I've been friends with Daniel for a long time, and I'm friends with John and Max for a long time. So those are the top. Those are the top 3 genuinely. And I've been friends with Alex for a long time as well. So if we're just doing it based off of how good I have friends with these people, that's where we're rolling here. Forbes and Vincent don't count. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
You guys just you don't count, bro. You don't count. I'm not friends with Catherine really at all. So had to be last. Nothing against Catherine if she hears this. We don't know each other that well. We've probably talked like 3 times. And Mateo and Matt played street hockey, so they got to be up there. Justin is a very valuable asset to the show. So like he's Justin and Tanner are top, and Campbell they're top right here. Nem can hover in the middle. Because you're right. Her favorite mascot is Gritty, I think. Flyers mascot.
Yeah, I don't know how that makes sense as a Devils fan.
Oh, we got 3.5 minutes here. Okay, so this is how we end the show.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, my list. I would say I'm not ranking forwards Vinny or Max. I'm not
that's
ranking.
fair, 'cause,
I'm not
yeah.
ranking forwards with Vinny. They haven't hopped on the show. Max, I don't know him.
Meanwhile, Forbes, my boy. Vincent, my boy.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say Forrest, my guy. Vinny, he's cool. I would say Max, no idea who you are. Respectfully. Last in order, Nem, Justin, Daniel. In order. They're all the Devils fans. They all chirped me. They all gave me what's it called a lot during the season. So they're last.
They're last.
They're last. Then I got Vitali. Then I got Mateo. Right? Actually, no. I have Vitali. Then I got Catherine. Then I have Mateo. Then I have John. Then I have Mateo. So
Hey.
I was like, so I got Nem. I got Justin. I got Daniel. I got Vitali. I got Catherine. I got John Gothopoulos. Then I got Mateo. Then I got Tanner.
Okay.
Then I got Daly.
We're moving up.
Yep.
We're
Then I
making our way.
got you. Then I got Campbell.
Campbell Donovan, the ultimate winner of just life. Right there. It doesn't get better than this. That was 10 minutes 12 minutes actually, of the greatest ranking on this show's.
I feel like that,
Oh, I almost just tipped over that chair. But let's give us a little foghorn.
I feel like that was like the most fun segment we've had.
I want them to come on the show and now do that ranking.
You know, for all three of the Devils fans, now I'm gonna be last. I was probably last before. Now I'll be last now.
Man. 2 minutes left here. All right, a quick episode 30
All
is
right.
alive.
Out
as
of
well.
out of the three core Devils fans, Nem, Justin, Daniel,
Campbell.
I was like, and Campbell. If you had to exile two of them from the show, if you had to kick two of them out of the Breaking the Ice cast, who would it be and why?
This is the most cracked question on the planet.
You got to answer it. You got a minute and
All right,
25
Nem,
seconds.
I'll give Nem because she hasn't come on here much and she didn't cheer for us. Okay, now you know what? I'm going with Campbell because he's not even coming back. Not even coming back.
You're kicking Campbell out?
He's not even coming back.
What's wrong with you?
Because he's not even coming back.
You have two clear answers, Daniel and Justin. Just pick one. You still got a Devils fan account with the other.
But
You
like,
can't kick Campbell
who else
out.
are we making? We can't make fun of Campbell though.
Campbell's
So-
big MLB Network guy.
and that's why he's. I'm letting him go to pursue better.
What I was saying, Campbell's always got to have a place in our hearts. He's always got to have a place in
Yes.
Breaking the Ice. But that means you can't kick him out.
Here's
Daniel
another
or
question.
Justin? Which one's going?
Oh God.
Which one's
All
going?
right, Justin creates the better memes, but Daniel brings all the knowledge. Memes, knowledge. This is so difficult to choose. I genuinely can't choose that one, bro. Literally.
you,
But I have one question for you.
you got 20
Who's
seconds.
one person you would add to this show?
In SCM?
Yeah.
Who would I add?
One
Maz.
person to add.
Maz.
Add Maz to here?
Maz.
Just for the memes.
Easy.
Not because he knows about hockey, but just because.
I feel like Maz every week rambling about hockey. I was say about the Devils. Like, imagine Maz in here during the playoffs with the Devils and the Rangers. He was going crazy in the group chat.
Yeah. Well, boys, we just ranked everyone on the
As
show.
you listen to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. I beat
This
you
man
to
got
it.
the call. This man got the top of the hour. Thank you for listening to episode 30 of this show. It's been phenomenal. 29 weeks straight. And congratulations to Vegas yet again for winning the Stanley Cup. We'll see you next week. We might not. We're not sure what the deal is so far. We'll see if we continue the show. It might be the case. It might not be the case. But signing off here, I'm your host, Connor Cupen, alongside AJ Chasan. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.